Hi, just continuing the previous session on FHIR Compatibility Demystified, Part B. So in the previous session, I touched upon areas like the basics of FHIR, why FHIR has gotten so much of attention across the globe in the digital health space, and why it has emerged as a leading ecosystem standard for realizing digital healthcare applications, uh, integrations, and also the different paradigms of FHIR, which are the messaging paradigm, and then again we discussed about the broker paradigm, the document exchange paradigm, and then also FHIR as a REST API on which you can build application apps, smart apps, which is again defined by a specification called SMART, uh, by which you can the the app mark the app marketplace or the app store ecosystem has really exploded, and newer healthcare apps and specialization focused apps are realized every single day. And there are statistics like during the COVID time, uh, on a single on a given day there were 2000 apps that were getting created, um, and all because of the adoption of this standard defined by HL7, the organization behind the standard, which has been existent for a long year, for long years now, almost 20 years, and they have been pioneering this standard. And now today I will be in this part B of FHIR Compatibility Demystified. I will be showcasing a demo of actually making a EHR system or an HIS system, Health Information Management System, compatible with FHIR. So how it is achieved, and a is demo is what I'm going to present. So just backtracking a bit on the different approaches of FHIR compatibility. So in the previous part A of this session, of this presentation, I had covered the different approaches of FHIR, compare how one can achieve FHIR compatibility for a traditional EHR. One is the FHIR facade, implementation of a FHIR facade, which is a very expensive route. You have to pretty much layer your EHR or your HIS system, your traditional HIS system, with the entire API specification implementation on top of your existing EHR database. It's a very expensive route. There are proprietary solutions from Firely, and also you can leverage open the HappyFire implementations as well. But it's a very developer intensive approach. And then the second approach, which is very much doable, very much um, um, practical way of achieving FHIR compatibility for any EHR systems, is by implementing a FHIR server and then using the mechanism of change data capture. So basically you uh, listen to key resources in your EHR database that are getting updated, created, and then persist that onto a FHIR database. And then you can leverage all of the FHIR features of the Smart on FHIR apps and other uh, interoperability requirements that FHIR calls for. So this you can install a FHIR server, and then you can implement any of the integration mechanisms which are available out there. And as a last approach, I spoke about the hybrid FHIR server model, wherein you have kind of best of both worlds. You implement the major part of all the change data capture into a FHIR server, and then also you have a lightweight a trimmed down version of a facade, where you are proxying all the write directly into the EHR database, and all the reads are again updated into the FHIR server. So this is a very sensible, practical way of getting the full out of your FHIR implementation, or making your traditional EHR pretty much FHIR compliant. Now let me move on to today's topic, or today's highlight of today's presentation, which is the actual demo of how we can achieve FHIR compatibility, or rather how we at Tactin has achieved FHIR compatibility for uh, an HIS system, an open source HIS system called Frappe Health. So, so we have went about um, realizing an integration or making our HIS system compatible with digital health standards like FHIR and Open EHR. We have gone about such an approach wherein we have on the right hand side of this uh, page, what you see is the HIS system or Frappe Health slash ERP Next, which gives you a lot of healthcare operational workflows and feature coverage. And then even as Frappe Health has a lot of clinical features and also modeled directly referring to FHIR standards or FHIR resources. For example, the Frappe Health comes with pretty much a good surface cover for almost all standard clinical resources like patient encounter, vitals, medication, labs, mm, and procedures. So, and plus the benefit of the ERP functionalities like accounting, finance, billing, stock inventory, and also uh, we can leverage the whole ERP Next app ecosystem for CRM, whatnot. So Frappe Health and ERP Next is a web-based platform, modern web application platform, again a low-code platform. So achieving features on Frappe Health and ERP Next is very rapid. But the limitation here is that not, in order to make it FHIR compatible, we have to employ or we have to go by the any of the three approaches I mentioned previously, which is the facade way or implementing a FHIR server or going by an hybrid approach where you have a mix of both FHIR server and a facade. So, um, so natively implementing a Firely or implementing a facade on top of Frappe and ERP Next is a long shot. It's very expensive. This being EHR or a ERP system, which is purely open source um, and contributor driven development. It's a far-fetched goal for us. So what we at Tactin um, decided to or went about the approach to make Frappe Health or ERP Next FHIR compatible is by going by the route of the hybrid approach, which I explained previously, which is implementing a FHIR server uh, and a facade approach. And we partnered with a leading digital health platform company called Medblocks. So we have um, did we did this integration with talking to the Medblocks platform. However, we are not limited to Medblocks digital health stack. It is the API interfaces are written to be uh, used with any vendors, any digital health vendor, whether it's just persisting to a HappyFire or a OpenEHR base or any of those clinical standards or any, for that matter, the APIs that how we have implemented this facade or this hybrid approach is pretty much vendor neutral. So we have started our work with Medblocks about three years back, and we have achieved a significant amount of integration between the two platforms so that we are able to bring to the table for clients the best of both worlds, which is you have a very powerful operational stack. At the same time, you have a very robust and modern, clinically cutting edge um, clinical data platform built on these standards like FHIR and OpenEHR. Now, um, coming to the architecture again, just a refresher. This is our architecture. So we have Frappe Health. Um, we have Frappe Health and the Frappe Health app ecosystem, the ops related apps over here, and then this is the overall Medblock stack, which is basically we are persisting data from Frappe Health, few key resources like patient, encounter, location, and practitioner we are persisting into FHIR database. And here on the, so we are using proxy to pretty much write data, uh, clinical data into OpenEHR database, the composition clinical, the encounter data, the patient, the doctor practitioner prescribes for the patient are persisted in as an OpenEHR data. And then we can do the billing in Frappe Health by fetching all the composition items or the terminologies which are um, prescribed by the for the encounter into Frappe Health for billing. So I'll be showing the demo. So this is the overall approach, and then we have used the Medblocks UI stack to build a smart app. So credit to Medblocks team for helping, working closely with our team for a long time, for quite a period of time to achieve this integration. So now I'll go into a demo now. So switching the screen to so this is Frappe Health application. So this is the operational platform, which is ERP Next and Frappe Health. So this is the healthcare module of ERP Next / Frappe Health, where you have a beautiful dashboard for patients. So this site doesn't have a lot of data. That's why you are not seeing some of these graphs, and these number cards are pretty much empty. Just 2 patients I have added. So it has a very robust clinical features as well as administrative things like billing, accounting, stock, and a lot of these admission ADT flows and all of that. So, and pretty much lab good coverage for lab, and then a very elaborate uh, rehabilitation module, a rehab module, physiotherapy rehab module, and therapy module. So all of this is part of Frappe Health. And so to start off the demo, I'm going to the patient. So I have 2 patients here. I'm going to create a new patient. So it's moving my add a patient. So I get this. This need quick entry form. So I'm going to add a patient, Laura. Gender female. Okay, so I'm just going to put a date of birth. Save. Okay, so the patient is created, Laura Bodge. So we can see in the webhook. So we can say now that the patient which is created is also persisted into the Medblocks stack. So you can see that now, just now a webhook request is created. So this is the webhook request log. So you can see that the a call has been made to both the FHIR server. See, patient resource is created. This is the response which we got. This is a response from the FHIR server. At the same time, a data point is created in the EHR base as well for OpenEHR. Now patient is created. Similarly, now for this patient, I'm going to do an encounter. So ERP Next and Frappe comes with good easy navigation features, like you can go to any entity by just searching over here, patient list, searching on this bar. It's called awesome bar. Yeah, it's really awesome. And now going to this patient that we just created, Laura Bodge. Laura Bodge has, so this is a patient, default patient entity, and it has very basic patient demographic information, some of the medical history, and bunch of other things, standard risk for this patient, and certain other things. And then in this dashboard, you can pretty much capture, go to create a patient vitals, encounter, and all of that. So I'm just going to create an encounter for this patient. Now, a new encounter is, I'm going to do an encounter for this patient. So here operationally the flow is like the patient is created, the admin team or the ops team creates a patient, and the ops team just create an encounter over here. So I have few locations here, healthcare service locations. Let me go and quickly create a new location so that you can see that new. So I'm going to create a service unit here. So I'll call it Albany Med ER room, or just ER, and then service unit type is Albany Med, and I'll just put a parent service unit, which is all healthcare service unit, and I'm going to save. So yes, I need to add a capacity for this service unit, so I'm just going to add a capacity, and I'm going to save. So the new encounter is created for Albany Med. The location is Albany Med ER room. So I will show, just after finishing saving this encounter, I'll show that now the similar webhook has been created for the into the digital health platform for both FHIR and OpenER databases. So I'm going to also practitioner. So I can create a practitioner, or I can assign a new practitioner which is already here. So I'll just, for this, I'll just use this particular practitioner, that is Dr. Richard Hicks, and I'm going to save this. So now this encounter is saved, it's in draft stage. Now let's, if you look at the webhooks now, webhook request log, you can see that a bunch of API calls for the service unit as well as the encounter is being created. So just to open one of them. So this is basically an OpenHR base call, and this is a FHIR data point, a FHIR bundle transaction which was created for the location and the patient, and then also the encounter, right? So this is what got created in the FHIR server. Now switching gears into how the view looks in the Medblocks or the digital health stack, like I mentioned. So we have the left side of things, which is the digital health stack, on which we have the clinical facing, the doctor facing interfaces. So going over there, so this is the Medblocks digital health application called Medblocks, built using Medblocks UI and smart specifications. So it has OAuth 2 authentication, authorization, and bunch of other features. So if you look at now, if I just refresh here and go back here, see for the patient Laura Bodge, 43 female, this particular encounter, Albany Med ER room, 2 minutes ago it's created. So now the doctor comes and looks at this encounter and opens it. So we have this app, Tacton app, and now the doctor is, so this is what the Medblocks UI looks like for capturing the encounter. Now the doctor or whoever the triage nurse can enter some of the vitals information, and then capture some of the basic information, vitals, and some lab results, diagnostics. And then what I'm going to be showing now is this medications. Now the doctor comes in, doctor prescribes the medication. So if you notice here, so medications are inventory data which is coming from the ops platform, which is Frappe Health. So I'm going to search for a medication, paracetamol. So see this acetaminophen and paracetamol, it has been populated. So it comes from the ERP Next inventory or Frappe Health inventory. So if I search for another medication, say bedaquiline, so you have the option to, so by default it is searching ERP Next inventory, or also you can search for SNOMED drugs as well. Also, if the doctor doesn't find the drug either in ERP Next inventory or in SNOMED drug, he can just directly add a custom a drug altogether, right, and prescribe for the patient. Now coming to the procedures. So procedures also we are fetching from ERP Next inventory. So we search for knee replacement, so it is searching from ERP Next inventory. So I'm just adding knee replacement surgery. Also the same thing, we can also fetch it from SNOMED specs as well, and then at the same time I'm going to add a lab for the patient. So maybe COVID testing. Yeah, okay, I'm going to add a COVID testing. So let me, for this example's sake, um, let me add a non-inventory item here. Probably I will add a lab test, which is a non-inventory item. So I'm going to add hemoglobin, and I'm just going to add a custom. Okay, so now I'm going to submit this encounter form. The practitioner orders these medicines for this patient, Laura Bodge, and then submits the encounter. So the encounter, basically their data is persisted into the OpenEHR server with all these medications. And now coming to back to Frappe Health. Now if you look at the Frappe Health document, which is the patient encounter, so the Laura Bodge with Dr. Hicks, so I have this button called fetch orders. And I just clicked on the fetch order. Now all the three items which I ordered, which the doctor ordered in the Medblocks app, will now get fetched over here. See, so you have service requests, 3 service requests which got fetched. So the 3 ones which I added, the knee replacement, that is the drug which was added, paracetamol, and the knee replacement surgery, and this hemoglobin test was a non-inventory item, which I, as a doctor, I just added it from manually. And now the beauty of this system is that all of those comes in and sits over here as a service request against this patient. So let me open one of them. So here, this is a non-inventory item, but we have a description. Actually, yeah, the description of what the doctor actually posted should come here. It's a small issue here. We need to fix that. So basically, the person in the inventory knows what the doctor ordered from the digital health platform. So it is a non-inventory item. It doesn't exist in the ERP, but we know what it is, and so that they can either procure it or then match it to an existing inventory item. So similarly, the other items which exist in the inventory, so it is mapped. So we have a paracetamol being ordered. The full details of the service request is available here. And now the accounting person goes and makes a, so this is all the operational flow, goes to the, for the patient, and to generate a bill for the patient. So let's go to the patient, Laura Bodge, and then the accounting person goes to the one encounter exists. Now the accounting person raises an invoice for the patient. So let's see where the patient can be invoiced, sales invoice. So opens the sales invoice. So this is the sales invoice, and we have no items here. So for this patient Laura Bodge, and then we have this option to fetch get items from service request. So we know that 3 service request has been created, and now let's see. Yeah, so we can see that all the 3 items which were uh, sent from the clinical system, or the Medblocks app, is now available here for billing for Laura Bodge. So I can select all the 3 items. So the non-inventory item is coming as null, uh, which the accounting or the billing person has to map it and either make a purchase request for it, or if it is available, he can directly map it. So these pricing items, everything is fetched from the ERP. So and so here it's a non-inventory, so he can pretty much add it as a hemoglobin. Yeah, hemoglobin test is already there, but for some reason the doctor couldn't locate it in the inventory system, so it's being added and saved. So so the patient is billed, and the invoice can be shared, and the accounting impact. Now the whole ERP workflow kicks in, and then the uh, medicines can be dispatched, and the whole workflow takes on from the ops platform. So yeah, so this is pretty much the demo of how we achieved integration in a smart way, the most sensible way to do FHIR compatibility, making your HIS system FHIR compatible is the way we did with the Medblocks platform. Similar thing, it's not limited to any platform like Medblocks. It can be integrated with any because these are standards, open standards and specifications. So any implementer who implements FHIR can uh, be plugged in with our HIS platform. So here is the conclusion, and I hope these past 2 sessions, that is the FHIR compatibility demystified, the first part where I covered a lot of the FHIR paradigms, intro about FHIR and the FHIR paradigms, and then the approaches of making your EHR or HIS system, which are non-FHIR compatible with FHIR or other clinical standards. And then today, in this session, the main focus was on the demo with both FHIR and OpenEHR. These are 2 leading standards across the board for digital health ecosystem, and then the FHIR is what is most predominantly widely used because of the large um, developer ecosystem and the openness it brings about, whereas OpenEHR is again a specification which is very clinically intensive and which is very rich in order for it to persist clinical data in most clinically clean and appropriate manner. So yeah, so with this, I hope um, you all got an idea of how you can pretty much achieve FHIR compatible with any traditional HIS system, which where no sort of compatibility exists as on today. Please do reach out to us if you want to discuss further on this topic. We'll be happy to give you the needed assistance. Bye. Thank you. Bye.